This is my natal chart. Don't worry if it doesn't look like anything meaningful to you. I will now feed it to ChatGPT, ask it to give me career recommendations based on that. Before we get to its answers, let me give you a quick summary of what I studied and enjoyed doing professionally. So I studied psychology and neuroscience, worked in advertising, and then studied childbirth education and perinatal psychology, and was working with expectant and birthing and nursing mothers for a few years. Was very active in the media at the time, then switched to astrology for non-believing clients, and was also very active, but all of my media activity was in Russia. And right now I'm trying to relaunch the astrology thing in English because I haven't been living in Russia for a while now, hence the channel. So will the AI catch it? Let's see. All right, so I'm asking, look at the chart I uploaded. What should this person's career look like? How should they approach it? Let's see what we got here. Voila, this is what it uses for the career analysis. Leo Midheaven suggests that career success comes from visibility, creativity, and leadership. Okay. I thrive in roles when I can express myself, be recognized, or entertain and educate others, was exactly what I'm trying to do. Careers in performance, teaching, media, consulting, or any profession where I command attention is a strong fit, and I need autonomy. That's correct. Moon in Leo in the 10th house. Emotions are deeply tied to my career. I have fluctuations in my career focus. That's what I just told you about. Work should involve emotional connection, creativity, or helping others. Exactly what I did. Sun in Cancer. Career tied to depth, transformation, hidden knowledge, or psychological themes is what I'm always investing in. Career suggests nurturing others. Therapy, finance, research, astrology, esoteric fields. Did all of that except for finance. Again, Moon's influence. Strong intuition about public trends. I hope so. Moon fluctuates. 6th house. Daily work should be stable and sensual. Work best in a calm, comfortable environment. Absolutely. Venus in Cancer. You might work behind the scenes. Aesthetic or client-focused work. Blah, 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 independent counseling. 2nd house, earnings are slow but stable. Aspects. Swings between security and risk-taking. Did that. Big ambitions need careful planning. Everyone does. Creative, spiritual, or intuitive work. Yeah. So I will stop it here. Stop. Career recommendations. Work that allows deep analysis, research, or storytelling. I am doing that. Psychology, therapy, astrology, investigative journalism, financial counseling are strong fits. I'm sorry, financial counseling, but I did everything else. Journalism also did at some point. Field where you can transform knowledge and present it to others. This is what I'm doing. Visibility and creative expression are important. A public career means you shouldn't hide your work, so a YouTube channel, writing or media presence will help. Leo Midheaven says that personal branding is key. Financial stability comes with strategy and longevity. Anyway, that is pretty amazing, I would say, and it's better than I expected it to be honest. Well, this is Nadia, the astrologer for people who do not necessarily believe in astrology, but who love their horoscopes and their natal charts and their planets. And this is the video on how to use AI chatbots, ChatGPT specifically, to explore your natal chart. I will give you some general recommendations first, and then I will get to 5 specific prompts that you can use that will give you a taste of what is possible in using ChatGPT to explore your natal chart. But first, I have to start with a massive disappointment. And the disappointment is that ChatGPT is really bad at reading charts from an image. So I have no idea why it was so successful with my chart. It made almost no mistakes, but I tried it with numerous different charts as an image, and it keeps placing planets in the wrong houses and sometimes also in the wrong signs, and some aspects gets wrong every time. So if you do not know your natal chart really well, if you're not sure you can correct those things, then I don't recommend starting out with an image. It can give you a reading based on an image of a natal chart. This is cool and impressive, but it is extremely unreliable. And out of most of the charts I tried it with, it messed. Out of all of the charts I tried it with, it messed up most of them. So not recommended, although it's a cool feature and I expect them to maybe fix it at some point. So what can it do and how to make it do it? First off, get yourself a natal chart and a natal chart interpretation somewhere online with an app. There's hundreds of, or at least tens or dozens of possibilities you can use. And make a list of your placements. So a placement is like a planet in a sign, in a house, and you can also add some aspects that the planet is making with other planets or celestial bodies. You can also use the screenshots that you make of the summaries of those placements that you get on the astrology sites. So this one, or like those ones, are from Cafe Astrology, which is a nice old astrology site, still very reliable. And you can just feed them to ChatGPT as images, and those it reads, I would say, more reliably. Or you can just give it the details as a text. And it's best if you read the interpretation of your natal chart first. So it's best if you already have some questions on your mind before you start talking to ChatGPT about your chart, something that you are confused about or unsure about, or something that you don't like even, some relationship with the interpretation. This way it's more interesting and valuable. And then you can just have the question that you have in your mind and phrase it to ChatGPT in exactly the form it exists in your mind. Like, oh no, I just realized that I have ascendant in Virgo. This is so uncool. Please tell me that cool people also have Virgo ascendant sometimes. And how does it look when cool people have Virgo ascendants? Help me. And here are the 3 things to keep in mind when you are working with ChatGPT to explore your chart. Number 1 is ask further questions. If you don't like the result, state your concerns. Tell it, this is what I was expecting to hear, this is what I got, can you correct it? Be specific, and above all, be persistent. It doesn't run out of patience unless you have a free version. So you can ask it to correct and improve and tweak the interpretations as much as you want. Number 2 is that you will have to keep track of information, because ChatGPT will not. It will act as if it has a heavy form of ADHD and it's having an acid trip at the same time. So it will forget what you said before, it will forget what it told you before, and it will hallucinate some new things that were not discussed, but now they have appeared. Number 3 is that it is great for playing with different formats. And I will give you examples of what those formats could be in my 5 prompts. But as you get the gist, you will be able to come up with new formats of your own, and that's the cool part of it. Use it. And of course, it's not a real astrologer. I mean, I definitely view value in working with a real astrologer who has years of experience working with real clients who are real people, and of accompanying them through how they live their real lives, and who is deeply integrated into the how people of their social circle live their lives. So this a chatbot definitely is not, but a reading with a real astrologer is costly, and working with ChatGPT is free or almost free. And if you are interested, if you have questions, if you are looking for new ideas, or if you are in brainstorming mode, it can be very useful and fun and entertaining and cheap. Now to the prompt I'm using. Number one, I have some placement and some other placement. Can you give me interpretations of this from 3, 4 very different branches of astrology or schools of astrology? So I could see how wildly different those interpretations may be depending on a school of astrology I'm dealing with. So a placement, like I said, is like a planet in a sign in a house, and you can also add aspects that it's making to other planets. And it is the easiest, most simple thing you can do with a chatbot that a real astrologer is unlikely to do with you or for you, because we each have our own styles. And we also tend to give a client one story and not 4 different stories. And also, as a non believing astrologer, I like it because it presents astrological information as a kind of a menu, as an assortment of possible astrological interpretations. And I think that this is valuable when you are looking for new ideas. Or you can also ask it to give you a more outdated interpretation and a more modern one. This can also be fun and interesting. Or something that give me this interpretation if it was related to a man and to a woman, or to a child or a grown up. You can play around with that. Number 2, can you describe the lives of people with some placement and some other placement who express this combination in a healthy way and in a less healthy way? And I want a few examples of each. So this one is not an especially deep and eye-opening one, and I have to say some combinations it does in an interesting way, and it comes up with interesting examples. Some of the more challenging combinations it does in a very banal and absolutely not interesting way, and I couldn't get it to be more interesting. Maybe the problem is in me. Why I still recommend using it is because it again gives you this repertoire of different ways of looking at certain combination of placements, and a living astrologer is unlikely to go through all different ways of a healthy and not so healthy way of combining those for every combination of planets that you may be confused about. Now to the more complex and interesting prompts. So for this one, number 3, you will have to pause and maybe take a screenshot, because this is a big one. This is the one I have been perfecting for hours. And what it gives you can be a fun exercise book with self-discovery exercises, rituals, affirmations, journaling prompts. A lot of them are lame, but a few are cool. And the beautiful thing about it is that you can modify it until you puke. So endlessly. If you don't like some exercises or they don't go well with what you have been trying to achieve, then tell the chat exactly that. It will rework them. It will offer you something that you like better. And you can also modify it to explore a different point of your chart. I was starting with the ascendant because this is the way you are, This is your presence in the world. This is always fun to look at. But you can take your midheaven to explore your public persona or your reputation or official position that you are taking. And you can also ask it to make it into a PDF that is more like a workbook, but it requires some effort and time, and you will need to correct it a lot, but it's a possibility. Now to love and romance, and here you would also want to take a screenshot. I will not read it. It can also be interesting. Maybe it's lame. Maybe it will give you some thoughts. If you're looking for new input, for new ideas, why not try? And again, if you're not satisfied with the first result, tell it why. Number 5. So ChatGPT is very good at writing lame dialogues. They can be made less lame if you ask it to write in the style of your favorite author. And it's not like it will be completely not lame. It will be just less lame than it will be by default. But I think that for brainstorming purposes, lame is often good enough. So I'll give you an example of how to get one such dialogue, and you can be creative from there. So you describe the situation that you are dealing with in detail, as you would if you were asking for real advice. And you ask it to write a dialogue between some of your planets. Sun, Moon, and Rising are the by default combination, where either they agree or they disagree. And you can add other celestial bodies, like other planets or other theoretical points, depending on the issue you are dealing with. So, for example, if it's a love issue, then Venus should probably go in there. Or if it's a career thing, you are like fighting for some position and you want to succeed, then probably midheaven should go as well, or Mars or Jupiter. Or if it's an intellectual or creative issue or a commercial one, then Mercury. So you can actually describe the situation, and you can ask ChatGPT to suggest a list of planets and celestial bodies and luminaries and theoretical points in your chart that should have a say in there, and then make a dialogue with them. But yes, you should describe them as they are in your chart. So I have a sun in Cancer in the 9th house opposite Jupiter, and I have a moon in such and such, right? And this will be a dialogue with more character. I have way more prompts than this video can hold. So I will stop here, and I have 2 questions for you. Question number 1 is, would you like to know more? Would you like me to make some more videos or tutorials about how to use ChatGPT to answer some specific questions about your natal chart? I have my own ideas, but if you want something specific, you can go to the comment section and ask me to do that, and I will seriously consider that. And question number 2 is, well, did you try it? How did it go? Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? Was anything spot on? Was anything terrible? Did you come up with some other prompts? Do you want to play more with it, or what? And that's it. So thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to not miss further videos on ChatGPT or placements that you have in your natal chart or the monthly forecasts. And see you in the next video.